my children who are caring, concerned, loving children have lost all patience with me. When I'm looking for my glasses, I'm groping around like an idiot, whimpering like a fool. You see my glasses? Oh, for Christ's sake, Daddy! You geriatric old fart! But they're right in front of you, right under your nose. Can't you see them? If I could bloody see them, I wouldn't need them. What I do now is when I take them off, I put them far away so I can see them. Amazing. The optician, he said to me, he said, how about contact lenses? I can't even find the big bastards. How would I find those little? The amazing thing about contact lenses, I tried them. I mean, they have this kind of panache for soup. They love soup. You have contact lenses and a bowl of soup, they leap out of your eye. And you'll never say, excuse me, I've lost my contact lens in the soup. You go through the whole thing, you go. You're sitting opposite somebody who's thinking, what sort of a wanker is that? You ever see people who lose their contact? They look like Hitler. They go, ooh. The sad thing, in many ways, too, about the aging process is a memory. And how pompous in youth we are about memory. I remember years ago, every Christmas, we would have kind of relatives, ancient relatives, that holy spirit of Christmas and peace on earth and goodwill to everybody. We used to invite all these kind of idiot aunts that we had, grandmothers. And they all used to sit around. And they all talk. And they'd watch television or something like that. And there'd be some very interesting movie on, and they just talk the whole way through it. They'd talk about it, but they never knew what they were talking about. They'd go, oh yes, yes, she was in that, oh yes, she was, yeah. Wasn't she married? Yes, that was before she went off with the other one. And I'm sitting thinking, you old geriatrics, what the hell are you talking about? No, it's me. Now I'm sitting in my own house with my children. I'm going, wasn't he in that? Memory's it's an extraordinary thing, memory. I mean, quite recently, an example of loss of memory. Within split seconds. I'm in my house. I'm downstairs in my house. There's something that I want, which is upstairs. I know what it is, and I know exactly where it is upstairs. And I leave the sitting room, I walk across the corridor, go 3 steps up the stairs, and now I have no idea what it is I'm looking for. So I think, well, reason this through. Don't go up and look for something you don't know what you're looking for. Sit down on the stairs, work your way back to the point when you thought what it was you wanted. In 2 minutes, I have no bloody idea whether I was upstairs coming down or downstairs going up. And age not only changes you physically, it changes your attitude to life. For example, now, around 1950, there was a movie made called Sunset Boulevard, you might remember. And it starred a lady called Gloria Swanson. And in it, she played a 60-year-old lady who had been a star in the silent screen. And in it, she picks up a destitute young writer and turns him into her playboy. And there's a scene in this movie where she seduces him into her bed. And she's 60-odd years of age, and she's lying there. Now, I'm in the cinema. I'm 17 years of age at the time. And she's lying there with a face plus a mask of makeup. She got eyelashes that look like caterpillars running across her face. She holds up her arms and they wobble, all that loose flesh wobbles. Her mouth is like a bloody big great slash across, and she lies there and she goes, kiss me. I'm in the cinema going, when he kisses her, I'm going, change in attitude. That movie was on television recently. I'm sitting there, they go through that whole scene, she said, kiss me, and I'm thinking, shit, I fancy her. Actually, I think that the aging process would be much more interesting. Instead of being born young and growing old, wouldn't it be better to grow old and become young? Wouldn't it be better? Then you'd know how to deal with your youth when you got there. You'd have all the energy to do all the right things. You wouldn't lose hair on the way back, you'd grow hair. Your teeth would come back, your eyesight, all those wrinkles would disappear, and you'd finish up being breastfed. Jesus, what a wonderful life. And in this, I suppose, in our lives, this day and age, this time is a transient thing, and yet somehow or another we want to grab a hold of it and keep it. We actually, in reality, talk about saying things like, we've got to save time. You can't save time. Time's gone. Motor manufacturers will make as a selling point a feature of the car that your car can go from 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds, thereby saving you 2 seconds. And people actually get wrapped up in this. They talk to each other. Does your car really go from, does it really go from 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds? Yes. Yes, it does. Shit, I wish I had a car like that. You really saved 2 seconds? Yes, last week I saved 1.5 minutes. When it comes to talking points, you see people racing around the country. People don't see the country, don't see things, don't experience things. They get in the car. People come down from Glasgow. I did it in 4.5 hours. From Glasgow to London, 4.5 hours. Did you really? Yeah. How long does it normally take you? 7 hours. I saved 2.5 hours. What did you do with the time you saved? I bore the arse off people talking about it. I was in Hong Kong recently, and I'm walking by a shop, and I see a clock, a little watch, not a clock, watch. So the changing in the clock. And there's nothing there. There's no face. It's just a black face. There's nothing. There's no fingers, no nails, no numbers, nothing. And I said, well, what is it? He said, no, it's a talking clock. I said, what? It's a talking clock. It's tell you the time. I said, the clock tells you the time? He said, yes. You walk down the road, all you have to do is do that, and pressure of rust, activate, speaking for you. Saves you all the time of doing that. You don't have to do that. You walk down the road, and a little voice at the end of your wrist says, 4:42. 4:42 and 30 seconds. I mean, people get stuck in the watch. Watches are not watches anymore. Watches used to be something you told the time with. Now, they're a kind of advanced technological machine, a miracle of engineering. They're not just watches. They're calculators, computers. People talk about it, saying, oh, look at this, see this? Extraordinary watch. See, not only does it tell the time here in London, but you see this little dial over here to the left of the 12? That tells me the time in San Francisco. This one on the right here by the 2 tells me the time in Tokyo, and this one down here at the bottom tells me the time in Vancouver. Extraordinary, isn't it? Isn't that wonderful, to be able to tell the time? Do you want to know what time it is in San Francisco? No. You don't want to know what time it is? I don't want to know what time it is in San Francisco. Yes, I would want to know. I'm in London. What the hell would I want to know what the time is in San Francisco? Oh, how about Tokyo? Piss off. It's a calculator. Really? Yes. Wonderful. It's a musical box, memory bank. And they'll say things like, when's your birthday? I go, 6th of July. All right, just a second. I'll wait. And suddenly, the calendar and the clock will go, 6th of July, and the little watch will go. The stopwatch? Stopwatch! I said, what do you want a stopwatch for? He said, well, it's very handy if I'm doing something. And I like to know how long it takes me. I just, when I started, I just pressed the button, and when I finished, I go, I said, well, like what? He said, well, I'm making love. When I'm making love, it's very interesting to see how long I take to make love. Just before I enter, I go. And when I finish, I go 3.5 seconds. There's a compass, you see? There's a compass there, look. North, south, east, and west. Why do you want to know? Why do you want to know? What do you want a compass for? What do you watch? He said, well, it's very handy. I'd like to know where I'm going, which direction I'm going. When I'm making love, I can go north by northwest, west, south, 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 by east, west, north. People actually say things like, shockproof. Shockproof. I'm going to get one of those shockproof watches and go, the Pope's a poof. And they have things that work. They'll boast about a watch that can tell you the time at 50 fathoms. Who in the name of Christ is going to ask you what time it is at 50 fathoms? You're down there. You're in the murk, the gloom. Somebody goes out of the murk. Would you like to know what time it is in San Francisco? I mean, how we live by time, how we live by the watch, the clock. We're brought up to the clock. We're brought up to respect the clock, admire the clock, punctuality. We live a life to the clock. All right? You wait to the clock. You go to work to the clock. You clock in to the clock. You clock out to the clock. You come home to the clock. You eat to the clock. You drink to the clock. You go to bed to the clock. You get up to the clock. You go back to work to the clock. You do that for 40 years of your life. You retire. What they fucking give you? A clock. One of the greatest killers in our society is not wars or disease or disasters, it's stress. Stress is a great killer, and yet we need stress. We need stress to give us the energy to allow us to do the things that we want to achieve. Yet in our society, what we actually do, we create stress, we have the energy, but we don't know how to get rid of it. For example, in prehistoric times, an ancient man, well, not so much an ancient man, because the lifespan of prehistoric man was only about 22 years of age. So he couldn't be a 22-year-old ancient man. But if this ancient man was walking down a path and went around a corner and there was a saber-toothed tiger there, he would immediately go into stress. Now, what actually happens to the body is that the brain, the hormones, and the sympathetic nervous system come into operation to give you great energy, great strength and energy to deal with the situation that has been caused by the stress. And in this situation, the prehistoric man, through the energy, would have enough strength to pick up a boulder